Hello, my name is John Cassidy Rice. I had the pleasure to be your host for this podcast. And this week we are interviewing Neil. I've known Neil for well over 10 years. He's an amazing man. He's an entrepreneur. He's a musician. He's outrageous living. And what I mean by that, he absolutely loves life and go for it, full tilt boogie. Hiya, Neil.
Good morning, John. How are you doing today?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So I think there was two areas that I would like to talk to you about. One of those was, which can be seen to be controversial. I sent out an email about you because you assisted on our NLP Master Practitioner. And it was about your sleeping patterns.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask a little bit about that because I got emails back after mentioning your sleeping patterns, which went from, wow, how do you do that, to outright hostility.
Okay.
That I shouldn't even mention it.
In my experience, anything unconventional or mildly unusual tends to provoke hostility from people who haven't tried it or don't understand the process underlying it all.
Yes, and I thought that might be good to talk about. And also, I'd love to talk to you about your approach to teaching music.
You got a long time? I can talk about that all day.
Excellent.
Get some strong coffee. I can talk your ears off about that.
Oh, that'd be fabulous. So let's start with this sleeping. So tell people, before we get there, so tell people a little bit about yourself and what got you to where you are today.
How did I get in the mess I'm in? That's really what you're asking, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Had the diagnosis been around when I was a kid, I would have been autistic. ADD ADHD is very violent, antisocial, nasty little runt of a child. That in turn turned into 8 years lost to teenage alcoholism, and then one day just stopping doing that because somebody gave me some belief in myself that I didn't have up till that time. Since then, I've been exploring what I'm actually capable of. I haven't really hit the ceiling yet, and it's an ongoing process for me of just look at something. Is it interesting? Does it look fun? Try it out, test it, see if it works. If it works, keep on doing it. If it doesn't work, then go and find something that's more fun. And that's led me to be a reasonable bodybuilder, a very poor racing cyclist, changed me from being a god-awful guitar player for 20 years to being reasonable, and then moving through my career in the gaming industry after a science beginning into finance, and then across with yourself, changing my expectations of myself once again, using NLP and getting into teaching, which I've done for 20 years. It's full-time for the last 10 years. Did a degree along the way, built a house along the way. Everything's just a bit of a game, a bit of a test for me.
Right, fabulous.
And at the moment, I'm investing in properties, writing the next book, building the course which teaches my guitar learning methods and the mindset behind that, and just continuing to build out the portfolio. One property every 6 months or so, just adding another one into the mix as and when. Excellent.
And I think one of the things you said there is somebody gave you that chance to believe in yourself.
Oh, that was a pivotal moment. A guy named Alan Roth, to whom I'm eternally grateful.
Okay. And would you say that one of the things that drives your passion for helping other people? Because I've seen you go out of your way to really make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah, absolutely. When you meet people and you're doing okay in life, they tend to look at you as you are and assume you were born that way. What they don't see is the backstory and the process, the stumbling down and falling down and getting back up that actually got you to where you are. So I'm really passionate, and this is a big part of how I teach also, is we have way more potential than we're led to believe during the educational process. I believe a lot of the educational system is there to make us comply, to dim down our fires so that we can be exploited, controlled by the system and be nice, law-abiding citizens. My job is to capture that little spark of creativity, fun, naughtiness, if you like, and to just gently fan it so that it starts to burn until it finally catches back into a fire and then into an inferno of passion for life.
Fabulous.
And that's why I teach, and that's why you do what you do.
Absolutely.
I guess that's why we get on so well.
Yeah. Great. And I'd just like to say, you know, making a difference in someone's life could be as simple as smiling them on a day when they wouldn't have had somebody smile at them.
Absolutely.
A word of encouragement. So it doesn't have to be a huge, big thing, does it?
It literally could be the smile.
Yes.
Someone once told me that if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours, because Jesus, they need it.
Excellent. All right. So let's get to the controversial subject first, which I think,
Okay, hit me.
which is the sleeping stuff. So tell people how long you sleep, and then how did you get to that?
Okay, when I was over at your practitioner session, I was sleeping probably 90 minutes a day with a couple of 15-minute-ish naps to pad that out. It's called polyphasic sleeping, because when you think about it, evolutionarily, it makes sense that we would only sleep in short bursts. Any animal that sleeps for 8 hours on end is extremely vulnerable for a long period of time. So it made sense for me to experiment with that. It makes you desperately dysfunctional in a social setting, though. So there are a lot of caveats around this.
Yes.
Doesn't work for everybody. The first few days you'll feel like crap. And then it gets better. But if you miss your naps, you're screwed. So at the moment, I'm throttling back that. I'm down to about 3.5, 4 hours a day, which is one block, and then one 10-minute nap for the rest of it. I'm good for that. I'm out every morning. I've been out this morning, run a couple of miles, done 10 miles against the clock on the spin bike, and my fingers are getting better day by day. And what else have I done this morning? Oh, I've been bugging around in here, making some music. So...
Yeah, so I guess what I take from that is that want to explore new ways of approaching life.
Yep.
And
everything is a test.
And everything is to be tested, because what works for one person may not work for somebody else.
Absolutely. The cookie cutter approach to do this, it's not going to work for everybody. I'm lucky that I work for myself. I love what I do. I don't have any boundaries on that. I work at home. I have no commutes.
Yep.
I can eat exactly what I want, drink as much coffee as I like. And the external constraints on me are very, very slight.
Yes.
So I can run my day to suit my own sweet self, whereas someone who's in a day job doesn't have the luxury of going, right, I'm going to just take 10 minutes now.
Yeah. And what's crazy about that, every productivity research that's ever been done says 20 minutes here, 10 minutes there, rest, just close your eyes, you'll be much more productive for the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Churchill used to do it.
Yes.
In the war rooms in London, they freely tell you that he would often be found having a 10-minute nap on his desk.
Absolutely.
So it's good enough for Winston.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher used to do the same thing.
Yes.
Now, regardless of whether you like the politics, the behavior behind that is fascinating. The psychology of the woman.
But a lot of CEOs, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists at the top of their game will take time out during the day.
Absolutely.
So meditation's a big thing at the moment. So mindfulness.
Yeah, for sure. I think you really want to be immersed in the process of your life, not blindly blundering from one thing to the next.
Absolutely.
Which maybe you call that mindfulness. Maybe I just think that's being awake.
Yes.
And then pause. Just for a moment. Take it in. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing at this moment serving me? And is it serving the people around me? And if you can't answer that question with a resounding yes, I think it's probably time to test another behavior.
Excellent. Excellent. Right. I'm sure we're going to get a whole batch of questions around that.
Ask away.
But we've done that bit now. So let's have a talk about the your approach to music, because I think, like you said, you're about to launch this big time into the world. I think you got about another 12 to 18 months working on this project.
Yes, it's pulling together the many threads and to compartmentalize it so that I'm not just blowing everything out with a total overwhelm. I tend to work very structured, very sequentially, and to move step by step from one thing to the next, which is how I teach. So for me, it's important to put the elements of the system and the teaching method into the right order.
Right.
Because if they arrive higgledy-piggledy and they're not sequenced properly, you're building on an absence of foundation. So the foundations first, then the sublayers and so on upwards to the superstructure.
Yes. So tell me, what, in a nutshell, what's the methodology you're using?
Okay, it's a keyless system. It doesn't recognize conventional music theory to any great extent. Yeah, I did a diploma in music, then I did a music degree. So what it taught me was that there were accepted ways of thinking about a very simple phenomena, which make it appear complex and even esoteric at times. So
Yes.
you're laughing like you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you do, because you're a guitar player too.
Yeah. Well, I remember a quote I come across that it was a musician. I think he played with Julie London. He was a phenomenal guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, we teach music backwards, because we say, you see this picture here, which is the music notes.
Yep.
And he sort of said, well, it's sound. What do you mean, look at the picture?
Absolutely. It's a misrepresentation. You're using a visual phenomena to represent an auditory experience. So I tend to think sound first. So if you can recognize the sound patterns using your natural gifts of listening for the spaces between the notes, the gaps between the notes, the pitch differences, you can then hang the labels on it later once the experience has been felt and understood. Then you can start to apply the labels. If you just don't willy-nilly put labels all over the place, they don't have anything to stick to. And I start from the broad universals of music, and eventually, like working out from the middle of a bell curve where 98% of everything is bang in the middle and just tails off at the edges. And so I go from the really common stuff first, the stuff you hear in the charts every day, popular music, the stuff that people actually like, and then move out to the edges until right at the very extremes of the tails, the outliers, you've got your slightly freaky jazz, your filthy metal, and the stuff that people say they like, but generally, I don't know. I know a lot of people who say they like jazz, but I don't know anybody who actually goes to jazz gigs or listens to jazz. So you make of that what you like. For me, the big thing is just make it fun.
Yes.
I know we mentioned this before at the practitioner thing. I have 2 golden rules in life. Rule number 1, write this down. Don't do anything that isn't fun. No matter how much you're getting paid, there is no amount of money in the world that is worth being miserable for. And rule number 2 is don't deal with tossers. DDWT. I learned this from a great guy called Pete Thompson, who's a very prolific.
Oh, I know Pete. He's a great guy.
Isn't he just top man? He told me this, and I went, my dad should have told me that. Don't deal with tossers. Again, don't be around people who neg you out, who make you feel bad about yourself, or who are not members of your tribe. Recruit as many people into your tribe as you can, but there are some people who just won't get it. They don't get you. Don't squander your life trying to turn them around. Wave at them gently with one finger. Get on with the rest of your life with a big smile on your face. Go and find somebody who you can actually help.
Yes.
So make everything you do fun, because if people are laughing, it's okay for them to foul up. It's okay for them to make mistakes. They can go back to being a child again. I've yet to see a miserable baby. You?
No, absolutely.
No, you got way more babies than me.
Yeah. Well, even my disabled son, when he was born, he had a hole in his top of his skull, these lines of his brain sticking out. He got MRSA infection. He had multiple operations, and yet he's still this little bundle of joy, just happy to be alive.
Yeah, happy to be alive is a fabulous way to live. If you wake up every morning and, you know, the alarm clock sounds or the opportunity bell rings or whatever you want to call it, and you open your eyes and go, ooh, I've done it again. I'm not dead. Yes! There are two things going to happen. One is you're going to remain single. The other one is have a very happy life. There's not a causal relationship between those. But you will be happy because simply waking up, when you think about the odds of you being alive on a certain day through the history of humanity, they're longer odds than winning the lottery. And that's massive.
Yes.
Every day you wake up, you've won the lottery times 10 based on probabilities. And that's taking a very conservative time frame for human evolution. Yeah. This day, you woke up, you beat the odds big time. So what are you going to do with your fabulous life? Well, for me, when the alarm toots, I scoots. I get myself out of bed, put my running shoes on, and whether it's snowing, 5, 10 below 0, raining, wind lashing, whatever, I'm just going to go out regardless. I could take the rain and the ice and the snow as an excuse and go back to bed, or I can just get it done and get out of the way.
Fabulous. I did hear, I think it may have been Brian Tracy, I'm not sure, but he did say something along the lines of, when people say to me, life's hard, I always think, compared to what?
Yeah, compared to the known alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, life's a game, and if you could figure out how to dance through it, if you can go out and skip between the raindrops when you're running, or dance with the snowdrops, or slide on the ice, it's not so bad anymore. You're having a choice. Every single step you take when you go running, it's a choice. Do I take the next step? Do I turn around and go home? Entirely volitional. You have the power to determine your outcomes.
So I think one of the things I'm understanding about, because we started talking about teaching music and we quickly got into philosophy of life, is that whatever you do, whether it's music, gaming, running, getting up early in the morning, it's about the philosophy.
Yeah, absolutely. You are perpetually dancing on your own graveside. So keep dancing. Don't fall in. Make something of yourself. Dare to go and do something unusual. For myself, the moment someone tells me it can't be done, I just think, well, it just means you don't know how yet. And if I don't know how, it's just a yet. I'm a big believer in putting the word yet on the end of a statement.
Yes.
So I can't do that yet. And then follow it with the word but, because you know from your own language patterns, and I know you teach this stuff, the minute you put but in the middle of a sentence, it cancels out everything you said before. So put the negative stuff at the front end. That wasn't very good, but this is fabulous.
Yes.
Rather than you're a nice guy, but, because you know the next bit ain't going to be good, and it just cancelled out whatever came before.
Yeah. So what occurs to me is that I guess you have students that come to you to learn guitar.
Yep.
And you actually have, in the best way possible, almost a therapeutic session with them that goes beyond just learning to play a song.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if they have issues in their life that aren't fixed, their ability to learn will be stymied to some extent. So if I can take the stuff that I do in my coaching and my intervention businesses and bring them across and hide it behind the guitar and surreptitiously sneak in the change that they need, I don't have any kind of problem or ethical conflict about doing deep work on a 6-string guitar.
I love it. Music is another language.
Completely another language. It's a language of simplicity.
Yes.
I speak and write Russian, believe it or not, very badly. And there's 33 characters in the Cyrillic alphabet. In music, you're dealing with essentially 11 notes, 7 of which are to the fore, and the other 5 don't use very much.
Yes. Well, that's one of the things I like about music is that it affects the brain in a certain way.
Oh, doesn't it just? You know, I dare say you've been on stage playing and had a little solo. You've been off somewhere. You've just gone out to Pluto.
Yes. Yes.
And people looking at you, John, we're over here. Come back in. They got to sort of beckon you into land almost.
Yes.
It's a very trance-inducing practice.
Yes.
I'm personally of the opinion that all musical instruments have evolved as trance inducers and mediators. The time compression, you probably know this. I'll just have a couple of minutes on the guitar, and then wifey will go, Jonathan, and it's 2 hours later.
Yes.
You know, that time distortion, time dilation, whatever you want to call it, it's a universal with musos.
Yes.
Because we're so in the flow.
Yeah.
Time
and you can go anywhere around the world. Language is not a barrier because the music creates a communication.
Yeah. I think that it's not something I've done any research on, but my gut feeling is that ties in with us being essentially vibrational beings, energy beings. And if we can find a resonant harmonic frequency with another musician, then we bond.
Yes.
If you play music with someone, you're never the same with that person afterwards.
Absolutely.
There is something deep.
Well,
deep,
if you
very primal.
You probably come across Pythagoras.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's triangle. Well,
yep.
To study with him, you had to study music.
Yep.
He believes the earth and the heavens are connected by harmonics.
Yep, I believe
His
that too.
triangle mathematically equates to a major chord.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so when you're doing maths, your ability to do music increases. In doing music, your ability to do math increases, and they're both pure languages.
Absolutely. And they're all processes.
Yes.
I don't believe that we have a natural gift for mathematics any more than I believe we have a natural gift for music. I think we have a mindset where we permit ourselves to excel in certain fields, and that's mostly conditioned. It's inborn and conditioned out of us. That's what I really should say there. So a kid that grows up in a family full of musos isn't inheriting the musical gene, is inheriting a socialization for making noise.
Yes.
A kid that grows up around people who are juggling numbers all the time, say accountants, mathematicians, scientists, whatever, they live in a world of numbers. And it's okay to be cool and very, very good at math in that environment. I changed with dyscalculate kid who'd been with an ed psychologist for 2 years trying to sort his problem out. We did it in 15 minutes using a piece of paper and a pencil. It was phenomenal. He just told me it was okay to do it a certain way that worked for him.
Yes. And I think
being playful with it at all times.
Oh, absolutely. And that comes right at the heart of studying things like NLP, hypnosis. I think the more playful you are, the better results you often get with either on yourself or working with other people.
Can you hear me grinning down there?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. Saturday I was doing an intervention with a lady who is a fabulous flugel player but can't play solos. She can play in the band that she's in, and she's very, very good.
Yes.
But the moment she has a solo, she goes into anxiety meltdown. And we got that sorted. She now walks to the solo point like a rock star and blows the house down. It's fantastic. And the playfulness of that session was incredible, because when she walked in, she was very stooped over, gathered up, and when she walked out, she was, probably 3-4 inches tall, because she was standing straight and erect. Everything was in the right place, and she was out ready to go and play with the world. God help the world. And when she takes a solo spot with the band, I think it's tonight they have a rehearsal, then I know she's going to be excited to take the solo. She's going to be confident because she's going out there with the mindset of a rock star.
Yes.
Indomitable, fearless, and playful and exuberant. And I think if you can get that playfulness, the exuberance, and the sheer joy of loving what you do into your daily life as much as you can just offer so much more to people. You'll have a lot more fun. They'll have a lot more fun. It's crazy. We miss out on so much fun in life. You know, if it's not fun, let's not do it. Let's go find something that's fun. Let's go.
Well, one of the things I always take away from you, Neil, is this passion for life. And I think that's one of the reasons why you've been successful in multiple different areas.
I think there's a great deal to be said for being happy.
Yes.
And
And
I've tried being depressed. It wasn't very much fun. Seriously.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I tried it out. Okay, 8 years later, when I actually crawled out of the bottle, I thought there are better things I can do with my life than this. And I just keep on testing different things.
Yes.
But all the time, say for instance, whilst I'm teaching, my aim as a teacher is to fire the student up about themselves, give them the pleasure, the enjoyment of just making a bloody racket that works for them, that makes them happy, puts a big smile on their face. It doesn't have to be technically difficult. You know, with a blind guy, people who receive disability pensions because their hands are shot from working down coal mines.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those persons also dyslexic, arthritic. They're just all over the place, but they can play all the stuff they wanted to play, having tried several other teachers in the area who told them, don't waste their time, you'll never be able to play.
Wow.
I would sooner work my arse off and give that guy his dreams than settle for an easy life and tell them that they can't.
Almost brings us full circle back to believing in someone.
Most of all, believe in yourself.
Yes. Wow.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yes.
And there are a couple of things I'll share with you and you guys if you like. And I know we talked about this at the practitioner, which incidentally, it was just such a cool thing to do. They're lovely people, and they were really switched on. So one of them is the Inevitable Journal. This is volume 7 of mine. So I've been doing this for years now. And I just do, like I said, every morning I do. It takes about 4 minutes. Now that's about as long as it takes my coffee machine to warm up. So when I've done my run, come back, done the bike ride, grabbed a shower, then I flip on the coffee machine, grab the journal, and a really nice pen. A really nice pen with ink that's nice color. So this is purple ink, and a beautiful pen, and just write down every morning. By the end of today, I will it to be true that, and then 3 or 4 things. So for me, it's have fun, help people, take care of myself and the people I love, be a good man and a good dad, and build my mighty empire. That's my business.
Lovely.
And then below that, I just write out, today I'm grateful for and eager to receive more of, and then a list. So life, health, love, Alex, my son, laughter, friends, and so on. And that's primes the day. It's kind of like typing into Google the search terms I want Google to go and look for. And then at the end of the day, just to close things off and shut the loop down, if you like, I will write down, today I was happy about. And there's many things I can be happy about during the day. The things I chose to do and what I learned during the day. And over time, you end up with a big pile of books of all these wonderful experiences you've had. So if you ever get down on yourself, you can just open the book and go, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, maybe I'm not such a knob after all. It's only a maybe, right?
Yeah.
But if you do that, you just end up with a big pile of evidence.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
And you're constantly reinforcing the things that you want, priming your mind to go out there. You're framing your day effectively, aren't you?
Yes, yes.
So if you can hold that frame throughout the day, you're going to get better outcomes. But first, create the frame and do it as a conscious act, because otherwise you're living accidentally. And I'm quite a fan of having a purposeful life. Now, I know you did a post last week on productivity.
Yes.
Would you like me to rabbit on about productivity hacks?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. there's a great book out there called Getting Things Done. Have you come across that one?
Yep, I know that one. It's Alan, isn't it?
Yep. David Allen.
David Allen,
Not,
that's it.
not the comedian with the stumpy
No.
finger. In a nutshell, David Allen just says, get yourself a bunch of index cards and dump all of the things that are in your mind one at a time onto a card. Put the issue on the left side and on the right side, just the next thing you can do on that particular job. Throw them all on one side and then process them. Can I act on this? Where does it belong? So I will end up with a little stack of cards for things to do on the internet, phone calls to make, jobs to do on my property portfolio, business activities, music activities, and I can just stack them up. So I'm collating them down. So instead of being the formless mass of just hundreds and hundreds of things, I can then just grab a pile, sit with the computer or sit on the phone and go, yep, done, next one, yep, next one, next one. Very, very fast and efficient way to work. I
Yes.
really recommend that to anyone who has a busy life.
That sounds good. It's nice and simple as well, isn't it?
Yeah, scary simple. Yeah. But it works. And I'll take that. If you can do something which is ridiculously simple, easy to implement, I don't need fancy systems, maybe 400 or 500 cards and a couple of pencils. That's my number one hack. The other one is build yourself your own diary. I know we spoke about this at your practitioners. I structure my day to suit me because I can, and everything gets done on paper. So I can flip open the week to view pages. Monday morning, I know where I'm at. I know this morning my job was to go out, run, bike ride, do all that stuff, clean the teaching room, do the ironing because it's cleaner's not here this week. Then I've got the podcast with you, and then I'll be doing a couple of episodes of my own podcast, which is designed for tutors who are in business for themselves, tutors and coaches. It's the business side of it, really.
And what's the name of your podcast?
It's called the Tutor Podcast, and it's on iTunes and Stitcher.
Nice and simple.
It's original, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But what I figure is, as tutors, and guitar tutors and music tutors generally are wonderful at what we do, and we're god awful at business. And I think it's the same with a lot of people who are in the coaching and helping business. The business aspects of it somehow don't pace with the technical skills that we acquire within our field. So a musician could be, a seriously wonderful guitarist or a great guitar teacher and still be skinned.
Yes.
So my aim with the podcast is just to throw some ideas out there, because I've been doing it for 20 years and I make a lot more money than I did as a management consultant. And help other people make a better living out of what they do. And also to deal with the demons of getting paid for doing what you love.
Yes.
Because that was a big thing for me. I was always getting told to find a proper job. Think of that, this 25 years ago. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Taking home £100,000 tax after tax.
Right.
That's a lot of money back then. You could live on it back then.
Yes.
Now, not so much. But 100 grand after tax was seriously good money.
Yes.
And my dad was saying, when are you going to get a proper job? And my job was to run casinos. So I'm hanging out in a nice environment, playing silly games, chatting up beautiful girls, and dodging bullets in Eastern Europe. And my dad's going, get a proper job. It's messed up. But
well, I know when I was at school and I said, the career advisor said, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to be a musician.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, so what do you want to do for a real job? I was like, what?
Again, that tallies completely with my story. My great friend Barbara lives in Italy now. She just moved back there. And I met her mom in Cogoletto on the Italian Riviera. And I could understand that her mom said, this boy, what does he do? Well, it's nice to be called a boy when you're 50. And Barbara said, oh, he's a guitar teacher. No, Mom says, no. Really, what does he do? That's not a proper job. You can't make a living that way. So I think everybody should be able to make a good living. If you're technically skilled and you're not making a good living, something's off. And it probably isn't your technical skills, at least some aspect of it. So my podcast is all about straightening out the bits that you can do very quickly and very easily that support and will enhance your technical skills.
Yeah.
So I don't do guitar teaching stuff on there. What I do is self-management, time management, marketing, and philosophy of life.
Fabulous.
So if you're looking for a system that puts dancing unicorns on your lawn, go elsewhere. I don't have one. Don't have anything to sell you, actually.
So if anyone's got a question or would like to find out more about what you do, how would they contact you, Neil?
Oh, it's really easy. If you want the website, it's www.neilcowmedow.com. And let's just think of a black and white animal in a big green field. And there's a blog on there. There's the podcast, obviously. If you want to email me directly, I don't have a problem with anyone doing that. It's info@neilcowmedow.com. And I'll try and help if I can, whatever it is.
Excellent. Thank you ever so much. And I'll put that information on the website so you can click through. Cool. And Neil is someone I know for a long time, like I say, and he lives with passion. He really walks his talk and does not mumbly stumble.
Very fast.
Yes. So do contact him. He is absolutely fabulous and really does want to make a difference.
Thanks, Joe. You're a very smooth talker. Say it again.
Well, I tell you, one of the honors, my greatest honor of discovering and being an NLP trainer is the people on the courses. I get to meet people like you and form friendships, and so we meet up every sort of few years, and it's kind of like, this is just how lucky can one person get to meet such incredible people.
Absolutely, and that resonates to the guys who were on your training, which I actually learned a lot from. Even though I've been through that process with you, I was just sitting there thinking, I'm really lucky to be in this room. These are great guys.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest benefits to doing the training is the people on the course. Hands down, the people on the course. You'll learn all the NLP stuff, transforms your life, but it's the people on the course that make the biggest difference.
It is. I think if I can just sort of nod something at you here, it made me realize that I wasn't alone, and being part of that tribe, joining that tribe, getting on your community, for instance, that's a big part of it for me. You know, to be not an isolated case of optimism in the world.
Yes.
You're not alone. You're not a weirdo. It's just that you're a little bit different.
Yes.
That will make all the difference to you. If
you
enter into, embrace, enlarge, polish, and scintillate that difference.
Thank you ever so much, Neil. Thank you for listening also and discover that hopefully we're part of your tribe as well, and you're proud to be a little bit different, a little bit wacky. Go out and make a difference.
Absolutely. John, I would like to thank you for just spending this time with me. It's my immense pleasure to give out as much as I possibly can to as many people as I can.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Until next week, have a fabulous week and we'll talk soon.